Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Proverbial Masterminds. Welcome for the first time or welcome back. I am Dr. Sherry and this is Erin, and we are here together to explore the book of Proverbs, one verse a day, and then we come together every Friday to talk about the last 7 verses.
That's right. We are in, friends, Proverbs 31.
Cheers to that.
Proverbs 31.
We are in Proverbs 31, and what's exciting about that is that means we've been doing this for 2.5 years-ish.
Yeah.
And we're finally getting to the end.
I can't even, I just I can't wrap my head around that.
I know.
That it has been since November of 2020.
Yeah.
What the heck?
2.5 years. It's amazing.
It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. Anyway, okay, so we're in Proverbs 31. We are now going to be starting to talk about the virtuous wife. We're going in verses 10 through 16. Let me just say this. Sometimes we get all tied up in this perfection of this wife, and that is not the point. That is not the point. So,
well, it's not the point. And I think, in Christianese, if that's a word, Christianese culture, there's movements, Proverbs 31 movement, and there's all kinds of things that talk about this Proverbs 31 woman, and she is not perfect. If we look at this is a mother telling her son what a good wife would be for him. Okay. She is not saying that this wife is without flaws or faults. She is saying, here are some of the key things to look for.
Yes.
Right. So this Proverbs 31 woman does not denote a woman in her entirety. This is a mother sitting down with her son going, this is who you need to be in your life. Make sure they have these things. It doesn't say they're not going to have any other things.
Right.
Just make sure that they have these things.
Yes.
Or at the very least, pursue them. So, yeah.
That is so good. I love it. All right. Do you want to read this week or you want me to read?
I'll read. I'm reading from New King James, although it'll be interesting to see if I have a different take because I've been reading through the NLT. But so who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. So this is an interesting, we're just going to pop down there and then we'll pop back up to the beginning. Did you know that a woman in the United States could not get a mortgage by herself legally? Well, the banks had the right to tell her no until 1974. Did you know this?
I did not know this.
I just learned this the other day, and the only reason I remember is because that's my year of birth. And I thought, well, Jerry came on the scene to change.
And they were like, we better start giving women some mortgages here.
We better.
We better get moving.
Oh, but anyway, I think that's funny. It's interesting how in biblical times this woman says she considers a field and she buys it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this, by the way. This is women's empowerment. This is not women as servitude. This is a woman who is, if you want to get worldly, she's a boss babe, right? That's who she is.
Yeah.
But with a heart for the Lord.
Yes.
So let's jump back up to verse 10.
Yeah. So in verse 10, in my New King James Version, it refers back to First of all, this is interesting. It says verses 10 through 31 are an alphabetic acrostic in Hebrew.
For what?
I think it's like alphabet, like the Hebrew alphabet. Like
Oh,
verse 1 is the first letter, and then the second letter, kind of like it says Psalm 119. Because Psalm 119 like has the sections
yeah.
that are denoted by the Hebrew letters. So I thought that was interesting. But virtuous, a wife of valor in the sense of all forms, excellent.
Mhm.
Excellent. And what I love that you said a minute ago was that she has a heart for these things, right? It's not just excellence in that she's getting it done and she's productive. She's keeping the house and making sure everything is right in order. No. That it's excellence in all of these things.
Well, and it's her identity, right? So who can find a virtuous wife by virtue of that question, right? You see what I did there? By virtue of that question, she's basically, it's rhetorical. Okay, there isn't one.
Yeah.
To be clear, there isn't one. For her worth is far above rubies. This is a woman whose identity, without being spoken here, if you look back at all of Proverbs, is rooted in the worth of her creator because she's an image bearer of God, right?
Yeah.
So this is a woman. It's not that this woman thinks she's amazing and virtuous. It's that she has found her identity in Jesus, in
That's
God.
right.
And that is
Yeah.
where her worth is. It's far above rubies, right? This
Right.
isn't, she's not talking about some conceited woman who thinks she's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not what she's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also points me back to this is, this is wisdom, right? This is the
Mhm.
whole book of wisdom.
Yeah.
And that she is so wise in each of these throughout, right? That she has the wisdom that the heart of her husband safely trusts her.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of summarize through that, right? Like she does him good and not evil. She seeks wool and flax and works willingly. She's like the merchant ships and she gathers her food. I would imagine that this is like from all of the best places and all of the best prices. She rises while it is yet night to provide food. Like all of this is wisdom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is, but one of the things that stuck out to me was, okay, so one, she's invaluable because she belongs to the Lord, and that's the only thing that can make us invaluable, right? Far above rubies. But two, everything that comes after this, before we get there, because she knows where her worth is found, right? In her Savior and her creator, because she does, then her husband can trust her heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she knows who she is and she knows who she's not.
That's
right. Like, so then it goes on to say, because of that, now they have this partnership because she knows who she is, and then he can trust her because she knows who she is. Right. There's stability there.
Yes.
Then comes intention. If you look at all of this, that's the one word that kept popping up for me. So she does him good, not evil. She seeks out wool. She's like the merchant ships going far. She rises while it is still night and provides in a portion. She considers from her, right? She is intentionally thinking about how to benefit her family.
Yes.
She's intentionally thinking it's not, and that's what I see when it says she also rises while it is yet night. This is not, a Cinderella thing where she's supposed to be getting up at night and working to the bone and making sure that everybody has stuff and everybody beats up mom and everybody, mom's chopped liver. No, she's wise because one, she knows who she is. And two, she's partnered with a husband whom they have decided to, pursue life together under the Lord's covering. Okay. And because of that, I am going to honor my position where you've put me in this family as part of the headship of this family. And I am going to be on the lookout intentionally, going and doing the things that prosper my family, not things that harm my family. And that, by the way, is simply a mirror image of God for us, prospering us, not harming us.
That's right. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. And in this intention, where it says here, I know we've kind of skipped around, but I love it. That she rises while it is still yet night. She rises before it's light out. Not like it's not the middle of the night, right? It's still dark, but she's kind of getting a jump on what's happening. But it's this line that also gets me. Not just providing for her household, but providing for her maidservants. She treats them as part of her household, right? Not taking advantage of them, not beating them down like that. I feel like that speaks such volumes of her intention and her heart. And you're right, in her identity, because she knows where her identity lies. So she's not trying to be Lord over all.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then the last verse, I think, is particularly powerful and actionably relevant for all of us. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. Okay. So what is that saying? That's saying that from what I gain, I will produce more. Right. I do not consume my gain. I do not consume my increase, but I reinvest that. So if that's, time, I now have available time. Where will I invest that? I will not slothfully sit on my hands, for example, and consume that time for myself, right?
Yeah.
If I have been gifted with a bounty of money, then I will not flippantly or frivolously spend that money. I will think, how can I use this to honor, again, to prosper my family? Right.
Yeah.
And I just, she's very intentional. And so again, it's not that she doesn't mess up. It's not that she doesn't have space to where she can take care of herself. She has those things. The mom is just not pointing them out right here.
Yeah. Right. It's stewardship, right?
Yep.
It's stewardship of the identity that God has given us. It's stewardship of being his daughter. It's stewardship of being the wife and the mother. So good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's all I got.
That's what I have too. I feel like the next section, we're going to go so much deeper into this, but I love what you brought out about the stability and the intention. And again, hearkening back to like, this is King Lemuel's mother saying, right? This is what you want to look for. This here, right here. And looking backwards, right, in the earlier part of 31, where she was like, this is how to be a king. And this is how to look for a queen. Yeah. Ooh, so good.
So, Erin, we have only 2 left because next week we will be doing 17 through 23, and then there's only 8 verses left. So we'll go ahead and close out then at the end of April with 24 through 31.
There we go. Look at us. Friends, listen, if you are new to this, really encourage you to go back and listen. This has been just really us being obedient to keep going, even when nobody's watching, right? Which is integrity, right? and we don't say that to, to puff ourselves up, but like, this is what we wanted to dive into his wisdom. And here we are. And I can't believe we're almost done. That's so crazy.
I know. And now I'm going to have to go back when we're done. Every Friday, I'm going to have to go back for the next 2.5 years and rewatch.
Yeah, I know. Because we've had some, we always have good conversations, and some of them are quite funny too. So go back and watch. Join us next week. You know what else is funny, Sherry? Is that this is episode 118. We're ending on an even number, 120.
Nice.
Look at that.
Look
at that. All right, friends. So we will see you next week, continuing in Proverbs 31, verses 17 through 23. So join us. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you then.